Good morning, everyone. I'm trying to figure out what's going on here on the Facebook side. Let's see. I don't understand why it won't go live. Let me see if I'm live over there. Facebook. I'm not. I don't know what's going on over here. Let's try it again. I'm not going to put in the description. I'm just gonna start it, see if that works. Anyways, I hope you guys are having a great morning. I am, because I'm sober and I'm alive. Let's see. I can go live this time. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Come on. I don't think it's gonna let me. Oh, there I am. Great, good. Hello, Facebook. I'm sorry. Took me a while to get over there. Had to close it out once and then come back. So it doesn't have the description on there or anything. It's an AA meeting. Oh, crazy morning. Anyways, I hope y'all are having a wonderful morning. As always, if you're new here, welcome. This is a place that you can feel safe and hear some things I did for the steps. Hold on a second. Let me call my son back real quick. Just a minute. Just a minute. Anyway, sorry about that. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, so it's an AA meeting. Simple request. Please do not be judging anybody in the chats. Just because they're here does not mean that they are the Just a minute, he's calling me back. I just tell him to call his brother. Please don't pass judgment and be kind to each other in the chats. Um, just because they're in the chat doesn't mean that they are the alcoholics who suffer. They might be here to help a family member or a friend with ways to help maybe get them to get help. So that's what I ask. Other than that, yeah. So I'm Sandra. I'm a recovering alcoholic. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Hello? He's on speaker. Hello. I was just seeing how you were doing. All right, love you. I love you too. All right, bye. Sorry about that. My phone is not working for some reason. Um, Crazy. I tried calling him and he tried calling me, and we're both on the phone at the same time, but can't hear anything. So, anyways, welcome to AA. Every day you are sober is wonderful, regardless if it's a good day or a bad day. So, for me, every day I wake up sober is a wonderful day. So, let's get started. 1. We admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. 2. Came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. 3. Made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood. 4. Made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. 5. Admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. 6. We're entirely ready to have God remove all these defective characters. 7. Humbly asked Him to remove our shortcomings. 8. Made a list of all persons we had harmed and become willing to make amends to them all. 9. Made direct amends to such people except when to do so would injure them or others. 10. Continued to take personal inventory and when wrong, promptly admit it. 11. Sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood Him, praying only for knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out. 12. Having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we tried to carry this message to alcoholics and to practice these principles in all our affairs. Good morning, Lily. So I always put in the description, except for here on Facebook for this one. Sorry, I had to restart it. But I usually put in the book we're reading, the story, the chapter, and the page. And right now we are in chapter 11, A Vision for You, on page 159. I'm going to start at all this time. All this time, our friend of the hotel lobby incident remained in that town. He was there 3 months. He now returned home, leaving behind his first acquaintance, the lawyer, and he and the devil may care chap. These men had found something brand new in life, though they knew they must help other alcoholics if they would remain sober. That motive became secondary. It was transcended by the happiness they found in giving themselves for others. They shared their homes, their slender resources, and gladly devoted their spare hours to fellow sufferers. They were willing by day or night to place a new man in the hospital and visit him afterward. They grew in number. They experienced a few distressing failures, but in those cases they made an effort to bring the man's family into a spiritual way of living, thus relieving much worry and suffering. A year and 6 months later, these three had succeeded with seven more. Seeing much of each other scarce, an evening passed that someone's home did not shelter a little gathering of men and women, happy in their release and constantly thinking how they might present their discovery to some newcomer. In addition to these casual get togethers, it became customary to set apart one night a week for a meeting to be attended by anyone or everyone interested in a spiritual way of life. Aside from fellowship and sociability, the prime object was to provide a time and place where people might bring their problems. Copper, stop. Outsiders became interested. One man and his wife placed their large home at the disposal of this strangely assorted crowd. This couple has since become so fascinated that they have dedicated their home to the work. Many a distracted wife has visited this house to find loving and understanding companionship among women who knew her problem, to hear from the lips of their husbands what had happened to them, to be advised how her own wayward mate might be hospitalized and approached when next he stumbled. Many a man, yet dazed from his hospital experience, has stepped out the threshold of that house into freedom. Many an alcoholic who entered there came away with an answer. He succumbed to that gay crowd, that happy crowd, inside who laughed at their own misfortunes and understood his. Impressed by those who visited him at the hospital, he capitulated entirely when later in an upper room of this house he heard the story of some man whose experience closely tallied with his own. The expression, "Will you quit?" The expression on the faces of the women, the identifiable something in the eyes of the men. The stimulating and electric atmosphere of the place conspired to let him know that here was heaven at last. The very practical approach to his problems, the absence of tolerance of any kind, the informality, the genuine democracy, the uncanny understanding which these people had were irresistible. He and his wife would leave elated by the thought of what they could now do for some stricken acquaintance and his family. They knew they had a host of new friends. It seemed they had known these strangers always. They had seen miracles, and one was to come to them. They envisioned the great reality, their loving and all-powerful Creator. Now this house will hardly accommodate its weekly visitors, for they for they number 60 or 80 as a rule. Alcoholics are being attracted from far and near, from surrounding towns. Families drive long distance to be present. A community 30 miles away has 15 fellows of Alcoholics Anonymous. Being a large place, we think that someday its fellowship will number many hundreds. But life among Alcoholics Anonymous is more than attending gatherings and visiting hospitals, cleaning up old scrapes, helping to settle family differences, explaining the disinherited son to his irate parents, lending money and securing jobs for each other. When justified, these are everyday occurrences. No one is too discredited or has sunk too low to be welcomed cordially. If he means business, social distinctions, pretty rivalries, and jealousies, these are laughed out of countenance. Being wrecked in the same vessel, being restored and united under one God, with hearts and minds attuned to the welfare of others, the thing which matters so much to some people no longer signified much to them. How could they? Under only slight different conditions, the same thing is taking place in many eastern cities. In one of these, there is a well-known hospital for the treatment of alcohol and drug addiction. 6 years ago, one of our number was a patient there. Many of us have left for the first time. The presence and power of God within its walls. We are greatly indebted to the doctor in attendance. Therefore he, although it might prejudice his own work, has told us of his belief in ours. Every few days the doctor suggests our approach to one of his patients. Understanding our work, he can do this with an eye to selecting those who are willing and able to recover on a spiritual basis. Many of us former patients go there to help then. Then, in this eastern city, there are informal meetings such as we have described to you, where you may now see scores of members. There are the same fast friendships. There is the same helpfulness to one another as you find among our Western friends. There is a good bit of travel between East and West, and we foresee a great increase in this helpful interchange. Someday we hope that every alcoholic who journeys will find a fellowship of Alcoholics Anonymous at his destination. To some extent, this is already true. Some of us are sailmen and go about. Sorry, he's dinging his tag on his food dish. Little clusters of 2 and 3 and 5 of us have sprung up in other communities through contact with our two larger centers. Those of us who travel drop in as often as we can. This practice enables us to lend a hand, at the same time avoiding certain alluring distractions of the road, about which any traveling man can inform you. Thus we grow and can use, though you be but one man with this book in your hand, or woman. We believe and hope it contains all you will need to begin. We know what you are thinking. You are saying to yourself, I'm jittery and alone. I couldn't do that. But you can. You forget that you have just now tapped a source of power much greater than yourself. To duplicate with such backing what we have accomplished is a matter of willingness, patience, and labor. We know of an AA member who was living in a large community. He had lived there but a few weeks when he found that the place probably contained more alcoholics per square mile than any city in the country. This was this was only a few days ago at this writing, 1939. The authorities were much concerned. He got in touch with a prominent psychiatrist who had undertaken certain responsibilities for the mental health of the community. The doctor proved to be able and exceedingly anxious to adopt any workable method of handling the situation. So he inquired what did our friend have on the ball. Our friend proceeded to tell him, and with such good effect that the doctor agreed to test among his patients and certain other alcoholics from a clinic which he attends. Arguments were also made with the chief psychiatrist of a large public hospital to select still others from the stream of misery which flows through that institution. So our fellow worker who will soon have friends galore. Some of them may sink and perhaps never get up. But in our experiences, Critter, Critterton, Critter Iron, something like that. More than half of those approached will become fellows of Alcoholics Anonymous. When a few men in the city have found themselves and have discovered the joy of helping others to face life again, there will be no stopping until everyone in that town has had his opportunity to recover if he can and will. Still, you may say, but I will not have the benefit of contact with you who write this book. We cannot be sure. God will determine that. So you must remember that your real reliance is always upon Him. He will show you how to create the fellowship you crave. Our book is meant to be suggestive only. We realize we know only a little. God will constantly disclose more to you and to us. Ask Him in your morning meditations what you can do each day for a man who is still sick. The answer will come. If your own house is in order, but obviously you cannot transmit something you haven't got. See to it that your relationship with Him is right. And a great event will come to pass for you and countless others. This is the great fact of us. Abandon yourself to God as you understand God. Admit your faults to Him and to your fellows. Clear away the wreckage of your past. Give freely of what you find and join us. We shall be with you in the fellowship of the Spirit, and you will surely meet some of us as you trudge the road of happy destiny. May God bless you and keep you until then. And then we'll go into the personal stories on Sunday. So yeah, you do discover yourself in becoming sober. You rediscover yourself. Um, I am not who I was even before I started the drinking all the time. I'm someone totally different. I see life in a different way. I try to enjoy every day. Hopper, will you get out of stuff? Even when he's annoying me. Weirdo. Anyways, but this is what caught me. Because it's true. So our fellow worker will soon have friends galore. Some of them may sink and perhaps never get up. Some of us never make it to begin with. And it's sad to say that. But in reality, we can't save everyone from hurting themselves due to alcohol or drugs. We can't force them to take a better path in which we can help with um, and under only slightly different circumstances, the same thing is taking place in many eastern cities. It happens everywhere now. I don't care what city, what state, what country you are from, what religion you are, what gender you are. It doesn't matter. We are alcoholics, and we suffer from our own path that we've put ourselves into. So we have to get out of it. But there's help getting out of it. That's what a lot of people don't understand. Or maybe they do understand and they just, when they come to a meeting, they are worried that somebody's going to judge them there. That's a real feeling. And what I learned when I first went to AA was they're not judging me. They know my struggles. They know my daily battle with my own problems. And they understand how I'm feeling and they can help you get out of it and or you can even help somebody get out of it. It's an amazing thing to be a part of this fellowship that helps each other out with this. And there's meetings everywhere. I can't stress that enough. There's meetings everywhere, even here online as I'm doing. This helps me to stay sober. Talking about it, sharing parts of my life and my story with other alcoholics. It helps me to stay sober. It helps me to want to help you to stay sober. And I can't stay sober if I don't work my steps every day. And knowing that I have the friends I have that I can call and say, hey, I'm really struggling today. What can I do to, get a different feeling? It's just completely, you can make it on your own, but you're not going to have all the better feelings about everything if you're not, I don't want to say you have to do it because you don't have to do anything, but it's suggested that you work your steps and you read your books and you pray and meditate. Even if you don't believe in God, just it's a higher power of your own. You can make it a stuffed animal. You can make it a rock. It doesn't matter. Just find that higher power for yourself, and that helps. It helps a lot. And being able to say, hey, there's a meeting everywhere, literally everywhere. Uh, Contact somebody there. Somebody will answer their phone. That's how I got my sponsor. I love my sponsor so much. And that's also how I found, well, I didn't call her, but I opened my mouth at work and I said, I'm a recovering alcoholic. And my friend Judy, another coworker of my first full-time job, came to me and said, I'm a recovering alcoholic too. She became my second sponsor. I'd always tell her, you're my sponsor. And she's like, nah. But we did. We always talked to each other about how we're feeling in that day. And we didn't really, the amazing thing about her was I could message her and she would know that something was wrong. Or something had happened wonderfully for me. And she had always told me to find my voice. I found it, Mama J. Found it. She passed away almost 2 years ago. So, or maybe it's only been a year. But, anyways, I miss her a lot. get a sponsor. Get that help. If you have to go to a rehab, they will help you get to where you can feel okay to step out into the world and start going to the meetings on your own and have your life better. So much better. Even on those bad days, it's better. It's better to know that you're going to be here for another day. Or that you're here right now. I know I have great days, I have bad days, but I'm still glad that I woke up and that I'm sober today. And we're going to have a party here soon. My sobriety birthday is November 15th, 2014, and I will be 10 years old of sobriety. I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of my sister. I'm proud of my sponsor. I'm proud of everybody that has gotten sober, and I have helped people outside of YouTube and Facebook because I've opened my mouth and said, hey, I'm a recovering alcoholic. Somebody's going to hear you say that, and they're going to say, wait a minute, I need to talk to you. So that happened. And they're my best friends, along with my twin sister. Thank you, Vangirl, for being here. All right, I'm going to read the daily reflection, and then let you guys have your day. I'm going to relax and then get ready for work. Yay! Daily inventory. And when you were wrong, promptly admit it. Alcoholics Anonymous, page 59. I was beginning to approach my new life of sobriety with unaccustomed enthusiasm. New friends were cropping up, and some of my battered friendships had begun to repair. Life was exciting, and I even began to enjoy my work, becoming so bold as to issue a report on the lack of proper care for some of our clients. One day, a coworker informed me that his boss was really sore because a complaint submitted over his head had accused him much discomfort in the hands of his superiors. I knew that my report had created a problem and began to feel responsible for my boss's difficulty. In discussing the affair, my coworker tried to reassure me that an apology was not necessary, but I soon became convinced that I had to do something, regardless of how it might turn out. When I approached my boss and owned up to my hand in his difficulties, he was surprised, but unexpected things came out of our encounter, and my boss and I were able to agree to interact more directly and effectively in the future. And with that, like I said, I hope you guys have a wonderful day and week. I will see you guys maybe tomorrow morning for my adventure side of my channel. I'm not sure about that, but for sure I'll be live on Sunday for AA. I don't like missing doing my AA meetings. So, with that, let's say the serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Keep coming back. It works if you work it. Have a good day, guys and ladies. See you on the next one.